You're welcome back. You're still watching Business Incorporated on Channels Television. Let's start with Nigeria. Now, there are reports that banks may be hoarding foreign currencies in preparation for the proposal of the central bank to hold supply of forex to the banks by the end of this year. Well, to give us some insights into that, we have Ayokunle Olubumi. He's the head financial institutions ratings with Augusto and Co. Hello, Olubumi. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Henry. Thanks for having me.
Good to have you. So how true is it that banks are rationing foreign exchange in preparation for this halt by the CBN by the end of the year?
Okay, I don't think the report is completely true because if you check the RT200 policy of the CBN, which is actually, it was the launch of the policy where the CBN governor made a statement that was actually
Exactly.
being circulated. But if you check it, it's meant to actually lapse over the next 2 to 5 years. It's not something that the CBN is saying they're going to halt the supply of currency into the market now. What the CBN is just trying to do is saying that, look, can we see how we can actually increase the contribution of non-oil exporters into the market? And from there, CBN can gradually pull back. And let's even also note that CBN started this policy tacitly in 2016. Recall the 41 buying items, and even last year, the CBN stopping the supply of FX to the PDC segment of the bank. So what the CBN is trying to do is that, look, can we ramp up the supply by non-oil sources? And then from there, CBN can gradually withdraw from the market. And then the suppliers of the FX, which are the exporters, and the bank can come together, and then it can actually even.
But the CBN had said that they will stop supplying FX to them, to the banks, by the end of the year. Now, could you help us paint the picture of how the system will work by then?
Okay. Now let's also repeat. I don't think it's going to happen by December because if you check the market fundamentals, it's obvious that it's not going to happen. Even if you check the RT200 policy, right? What we have there is saying that, look, for the next 2 to 3 years, because the truth is that the non-oil sources that are meant to even provide FX into the market, they can't actually meet the current demand that we have now. But what we are going to see, right, it might even be before the end of the year, is gradual phasing out of the role of the CBN. So you can see some FX window might actually even be closed. CBN will not be providing funding for, right? So even the honest truth is that even now, that's what is happening because now CBN is not providing FX equally to all of the sectors. It's not all activities that CBN actually even fund. Some are given priority more than others. So what you see now is actually what we see the CBN gradually facing it out. But back to your question, what the CBN is trying to do is that, look, can the banks encourage the exporters? And the banks talk to the exporters such that the export proceeds can be sold to the bank, right? So when the banks actually even buy those FX from the FX from the exporters, right? From there you can use it to actually meet the demand of your customers, right? And then we can actually see a gradual reduction in the reliance of the CBN as the sole provider of FX into the market. So what we are going to see gradually is increase in the role of exporters. We are talking about the non-oil exporters in providing FX to the market. And if you recall that, if you check the RT200 policy, right, there is now a rebate for the exporters. If you sell your FX if you sell the FX to the banks through the higher window, you have a 65 naira per dollar, right, for every dollar that you sell. And if you sell the FX or use it to meet your own needs, right, you have like 5 naira for each dollar. And even now, there are more intervention funds that are even coming out to support the exporters. The ultimate goal is to try and see, can we try and even increase supply of FX from the non-oil exporters? And then from there, because you recall that most of the FX that the CBN is using to supply the market comes from crude oil. And you call the challenges that we are having in terms of our production, right? Right? That one has actually reduced the amount of FX that we even have available to the CBN, right? So the aim is to try and even increase the role of non-oil exporters in supplying FX.
Well, that's a conversation about increasing the FX from exporters and non-oil exporters or importers has been on the front burner for a while. I wonder what that will do with the increase in the inflation rate in the U.S. Now, that's talking about dollars, but I think it's a conversation for another day. We really have to thank you, Ayokunle Olubimi, Head Financial Institutions Ratings with Augusto & Co. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you very much for having me.
So let's move on now. Talking about central banks, that of Egypt is excluding for 1 year imports of rice, beans and lentils from the 100% cash margin imposed on most imports. In 2015, the CBE required all importers to fully cover import letters of credit at banks at the time of opening them. The order is applicable from tomorrow, which is the 15th. Next year, 15th of March 2023. Meanwhile, the head of the Apparel Export Council of Egypt has revealed that garment exports recorded a remarkable growth in January with a 54% increase to reach $204 million, and that's compared to $132 million in January. Let's move to Zimbabwe now, where the president has ordered a review of fuel levies to avert further price increases as international oil markets continue to be roiled by the war in Ukraine. The president promised that the whole duty framework is being reviewed to cushion the economy from the shocks and pressures rising from fuel prices. Also, the Energy Ministry to review and reduce surcharges on gasoline and diesel. And the UK Export Credit Agency, UK Export Finance, will provide buyer credits and direct lending worth 113 million euros for a major road expansion in Cameroon to be carried out by a Canadian contractor using goods and services from the UK. The target is the Douala East Entrance Road that connects the city with ports. The expanded road is intended to speed the transport of goods and help landlocked neighbors Chad and the Central African Republic. UKEF says that it has up to £2 billion available to support UK exports to Cameroon and can continue to back projects in the Cameroon with its financial support. That's it for this very first episode for the week. Thank you so much for being a part of it. Let's do it again tomorrow. I'm Amy John Mekwa.